Hi guys, welcome back. So this video, main goal, get an MOT on the car. So I've got a list of all bits and pieces. If I need to finish it, there's some bits that I don't need to do. So I'm just going to go through and look through. So I've got the exhaust brackets and the sport cat. That I'm going to do at the MOT station. I'm going to use the ramp while I'm there. It's just easier to put the cat in. I don't need to make it watertight. At the moment, we're having a bit of a hot spell, so no need to worry about that at the minute. Secure the wideband wiring, which I'm going to do. The heater inlet pipe setup, so that is for the inside there. That can be left off because that's just allows me to breathe basically, but that can wait. Doesn't need it for the MOT. Obviously I'm going to torque the wheel nuts up. I'm going to fit the wipers. They're all going to go back on because they're not fitted. Wipers, linkage, get the bumper on, strut brace. So I've done the power steering fluid and coolant, so that's good. Fit headlights, bonnet, and they've got things like the front grille surround, which I'm going to have to sort out. But that doesn't need doing for the MOT. I'm also the cowling that runs across the top, I'm going to leave off for the time being as part of the making watertight side of it. But it also, you see how much smoke in the previous video there was from all the heat wrap and stuff, and it will just allow it to vent and breathe out on the first few runs of the car. So once that's all calmed down, then I can look at getting that cowling back on then. And then I can look at obviously getting it all watertight and maybe look at the heater pipes at the same time. But anyway, that's off track. MOT, that's the next thing. So yeah, I don't know how much I'm going to film. I'll just do bits and pieces, but I'll just get all the bits on the car. And yeah, get a bonnet on, headlights, make it look like an actual roadworthy car again. And obviously go from there. So yeah, I'll catch up with you shortly when I got a bit more stuff done. So another thing I didn't mention about was this alternator. I'm going to have to sort out the charge rate on it because it was charging about 15 volts, which is too high. So if I can disconnect it and it'll run, that's fine. I'll leave it and sort that after it's got an MOT. If that doesn't sort it, obviously it will need sorting before the MOT. So we'll see what's going on with that. And then obviously I'm wondering whether or not the dash is shutting down maybe because it's for 15 volts. Possibly, who knows? I don't know. We'll see. We'll get that sorted first though, and then we can look at the dash afterwards. So yeah, those are the things I'm going to be tackling. Yeah, I'll be right with you shortly. First change of plans. I need to stick the cowling back on as it is anyway, because years ago I modified it to the washer jets and actually in the cowling instead of in the bonnet, and the bonnet's nice and smooth. So yeah, I have already cut all this down. It's got some heat shielding on where the turbo sits. So I'm looking at getting that fitted now. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put it on anyway. But there's obviously loads of vents all the way along to allow it to breathe properly anyway, so it shouldn't be a problem. Right, so that's all the wipers and cowling on. Yeah, as I say, because of the washer jets, they had to be fitted, so it's done. Anyway, it's back together. I've just secured, I just put a simple little P-clip on the top of the strut bolt there, just to secure the wideband wiring. So that's nice now and not flapping around. So yeah, so that's one job done. I've just topped up the screen wash, all the washers work. So that's good. Next thing is going to be the bumper. I was going to leave this off, the surround, the black bit, and get a new one, but just I don't know if it'll arrive in time. I was going to take it off and leave it off, but it will just look so much more broken than it really does, so I'm going to leave it on for the time being. Right, so I'm going to get the bumper on, the headlights in, and make sure they all work. There we go, all back together now. So just going to check out all the electrical works. Actually, it looks like a car. Would you believe it? Look at that. Needs a bit of a wash down. Obviously the bonnet's been sat collecting dust. But yeah, all back together inside now as well. Well, excluding the radio, but don't need that. So yeah, there we go. Right, yeah, so I'm going to just make sure the lights work. Do the torque wheel nuts up. We're getting there, it's almost ready. I can see if it will drive well enough to get to the MOT station for the sports cat. Alright, so I've adjusted my list. This is the list of bits I need to now get finished for the MOT. A few bits and pieces to sort out, but parts to buy. So I got 15-volt charging to sort out, a rear fog light warning I need for the MOT. Dash communication, or a communication issue maybe. We'll have to have a look at that one and see what's going on there. The pressure readings on the dash, obviously not right. I'm hoping it's just a scaling issue, but we'll have a look. The exhaust mounting, the sports cat, and the MOT. So we're almost there to get the thing on the road. So yeah, let's have a little look at these first little bits and see if I can figure any of them out. Okay, first little task done. So what I've done is I've set up the rear fog light. I'll just get the alarm set up here. The rear fog light, I've obviously got it set up for a message, just to say the rear fog light's on, and the number 3 LED, which is, if I just put that on, number 3 is the lights on warning message. So yeah, so I've changed that, and that will turn it to yellow when the fog light comes on. So there's 2 warnings on there. So when I put the lights on, I'll have the dip beam, and then when I pull the fog lights, it will give me a warning, the rear fog light on, and it will change. Oh, knocking the wipers. It change that to amber. So that should be plenty of good enough in terms of MOT. Right. Okay. So. Let's have a look now at this fuel pressure, see if I can get that reading in the right realm and see what's going on there. Right, so I don't yet know how to fix the fuel pressure issue. I've updated all the firmware on the dash and make sure everything is all up to date, which it is. Yeah, still not reading the right scale, so obviously I'm gonna have to do a custom cam feed or something like that. But for what I've done in the meantime is I've just set the decimal place so we can see both sides of the decimal place, and I'll just have to ignore the decimal. So yeah, I'll just do that for the time being. I say get it running. I did put a little, I don't know if you see it, the sun's out, fuel reading in there. I've just made up some numbers for now just so I know when it is 0 is 4 litres left. But obviously I'll get to a fuel tank station before that to obviously change the actual readings. So yeah, so next is looking at this charging. I'm going to get the alternator disconnected and then look at what volts I'm getting with it running and see. I'm hoping it's 13.8, but if it's more than that, it looks like I might have a faulty alternator. So, well, let's just disconnect it and try it. Right, so got it idling. I don't know if we can see, but the battery, it's not going to show it, is it? It picked a really crappy colour. So the battery voltage is 13.8. So with it disconnected is fine. So obviously with it connected is 1 happy, causing it to overcharge. But with it running, I've also still lost my dash. So I'm going to rewire the dash on the CAN bus. Just direct to the ECU. I've got the other bits and pieces of the car, ABS sensors and stuff, all in with the CAN bus system. I'm going to remove it, keep it nice and simple, see if that sorts it out, because obviously I need a dash. So yeah, right, okay, so at least the charging's good. So yeah, I'll just get rewiring that now. So a little bit more playing around. Turns out, even though I'd updated to the latest firmware on the dash, it hadn't actually changed to the latest settings on the ECU. So I just switched over to the settings, reconfigured the dash, and now my fuel pressure, if I just go on to link and just turn the pump on, here we go, you can see 44 psi. So yeah, so that is one thing ticked off the list. So where we go then, car's all loaded up, got all the welders and stuff inside, take down to the MOT station, use their ramp, get the sports cat welded in, get the MOT on it. So I'm just going to drive it out, get a bit of a rough tune around idle, let it up to full temperature, just make sure, double check there's no leaks. As long as that's all right, I'm going to attempt to drive down there. Hopefully it goes reasonably well. Luckily it's not too far away, so it'd be interesting drive. I'll log it all the way down there probably just for first data, just to try and dial some kind of cruise tune in there. But yeah, next one, you should see me at the MOT station with the exhaust on. Right, so there's the exhaust off the car. What my plan is, because there's little kinks all the way along it to obviously get it to fit properly, cut into a straight section, which I've got here, which is good as well because it's right after the downpipe. Then I get my sports cat, as long as I cut them straight, measure the size and just blap it in there. So I'm going to go on with that. Right, so exhaust is done. Welding's just as piss poor as the day I started, but it's welded on there. I did forget to bring a bit of material to make a mount for this section, but it is all bolted on. I think you can see that's a big bracket there, it's all bolted onto the block there. We got mounts here. Exhaust is solid in position, so yeah, I think we're all right. I think we'll be okay. We've got mounts up here as well, another one up here. So yeah, it's nice and secure. Right, let's get an MOT on it. And then that will be ready to drive on the road. There we have it, an MOT. So we do have an advisory for just a wheel bearing. But I knew about it last year, I just didn't get around to do it. You can see by the mileage there. It's done next to no mileage since last MOT. So yeah, all good. So yeah, that leaves me to dump all of my tools, all my welders, back home, empty the car out. I need to get some fuel in there, I need to put tacks on it, and then I can take it out on the road and tune it. But for this video, I'm going to leave it there. So thanks for watching. Join me next time. I'll do a bit of driving, get a first proper drive, and see whether it's all worth it.